Hello, sir.
Yes,
Welcome to Red Team Security Summit 2020, sir. So, welcome, Karnan, sir. The stage is all up to you, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can I share my screen now?
Sure, sir.
Good evening, everyone. It is my great honor and pleasure, privilege to be amongst all of you here this evening. My sincere gratitude extends to Mr. Jaishal Ali, CEO of Red Academy, having invited me over for this Security Summit, Season 3, 2020. And to be with you, all of you, to share a couple of thoughts this evening. My sincere thanks to all of my well-wishers, friends who has joined with me today. The subject matter I have chosen to speak on is COVID-19's impact on cybersecurity. So this is my agenda. All over the world, the COVID-19 pandemic has been the headline over the past few months. It has also forced organizations and individuals to embrace new practices such as social distancing and remote working. Governments are, reconsidering ways to ensure that their countries are stable by developing and enforcing new economic plans. While the world is focused on the health and economic threats posed by COVID-19, cyber criminals around the world undoubtedly are capitalizing on this crisis. I'll walk you through a reality in cyber world and how the COVID-19's impact by technology users business, how the exploitation of pandemic by criminals, or what are the attack vectors right on COVID-19, how the COVID-19 phishing campaign threat actors has been launched, how it was impacted, and operational security impacts during COVID-19, how we can manage the risk at a distance, and
Sir,
security and
Karnan,
resilience.
sir,
Yep,
sorry to interrupt you. Your slides are not up, sir. Can you change your screen to the slide? You're
is it
still in
visible?
the browser window, sir. Can you can you minimize this?
You can see, right?
No, sir. You just stopped sharing the screen. Can you bring that back up?
Visible?
Yes, sir. Now it's visible. You can also share your video as well. Okay, sir. Good to go. Sorry for the
Fine.
interruptions.
No problems. So where you can't hear me, you are able to hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
About
All
agenda.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is my agenda. Okay, I'll walk you through who am I, a reality in cyber world, COVID-19 impact by technology users and business, exploitation of pandemic by cyber criminals, what are the attack vectors and operational security impacts, and what are the phishing campaign and their threat actors, security and resilience while working from home, and cybersecurity incidents during COVID-19, and then we can conclude. So this is about me. I am Ganan Subramanian. I am working as an information security officer. I've been with UAE-based semi-government BFSI sector since 2013. I do manage information security projects, incidents, audits, having 13 plus of years of experience in the field of information security. I have delivered a huge range of security projects during this tenure. I have worked for government, oil and gas, private sector, regulatory, and legal organizations. I did my post-graduation in cyber forensics and information security in University of Madras. So these are my credentials. I'm holding a CISSP system. I'm a certified ethical hacker and instructor. other certification which are cyber forensics, auditing, vulnerability management. I am the member of ISACO and ISS Square. If you see the reality in cyber world, cybersecurity risks has increased, at least in the short term. Common issues in many organizations are facing from pandemics, or either it could be force, supply chain, operations, travel, and decline in sales and regulations. So if you could see here in the snippet what I have given, coronavirus scam alert. Watch out for these risky COVID-19 websites and emails. It's from Forbes. And only 20% of boards are extremely confident that the cybersecurity risks and mitigation measures presented to them can protect the organization from major cyber attacks. And 18 million phishing emails has been created. It is by Google. They have actually blocked. And hackers, they have a dumpster dive for taxpayer data in COVID-19 relief money scams. And 100,000 new COVID-19 domains has been created. If you see, especially specific to Middle East or facing cyber pandemic, security vulnerabilities, it was told by cyber chief. And so 52% of legal and compliance leaders are concerned about third-party cyber risks due to remote work since COVID-19. Again, if you could see that down the snippet, the one of some it says GCC is one of the most vulnerable regions with almost 5.5 million malware attacks recorded over 2019. Specific to KSA, it is 2.4 million. Again, if you go further down, GCC records 3,067 COVID-19 coronavirus cyber attacks in Q1 2020. There are many things we can talk. In particular, insider threats who is working from home, they are stealing customer card details, and supply chain attacks is vitally now everywhere. You may heard about the SolarWinds, FireEye. It's again Microsoft also they are talking about something. So these are it's again it's all behind the cyber criminals who launched many things by using this, taking advantage of COVID-19. I'm going to walk you through on cybersecurity implications. Specific to this situation, it is actually there are many shift happen, especially in digital. In the perspective, it is either it could be organization or as well as the individuals who are thus encouraged to approach work, interpersonal management, and communication in different way. Let's see what does this impact happen by technology, users, and business. We will discuss most of the time we are dealt with massive remote workforces nowadays. So one of first thing is technology, people, and process. When we talk about technology, with many of us working from home, we use this VPN and virtual conferencing, like how we are all connected together through this conferencing application, and cloud computing and SIM as a SOC monitoring solution. So again, when we talk about users, there are undocumented process happening, and they are feeling loneliness, personal stress, and most of the time distraction. And when we discuss about business, they are trying to bring more on-demand solution, staff budget cutoff. So this is predominantly everywhere nowadays. So now talking about exploitation of pandemic by cyber criminals. So what they are doing it. more people are working from home. Cyber criminals are exploiting this situation to target organizations and individuals with sophisticated fraud scams. So I have given one of the very good hierarchy of sensitizing the model for cybercrime. What they do basically, they start with the situational factors. From there, they drive with the technology targets, what technology they can able to target, and how they impersonate themselves and victimize. And again, they will use cybercrime types, cybercrimeware, and attack methods. I think most of you are attending this series of previous session. They might have talk about most of the pen test, how they are doing it. And again, the emotional elements is a key thing where they can influence the techniques. Again, they go back to the top, the hierarchy, where they again try to target the technology, impersonate themselves, and then victimize them. Then these all attack vectors ride on COVID-19. Phishing emails, malicious apps, bad domains has been created, insecure endpoints and end users, vulnerability on on-demand apps, communication on virtual conferencing technology. Either it could be Zoom, MS Team, WebEx, and malicious social media messages. In addition, frequency of attacks, the attack vectors employed by cyber criminals also changing. Cyber criminal also will look into new kind of exploitation, how they can in a creative way they can send, so that they will able to target. And this is the phishing campaign and the threat actors. So if you see, the COVID-19 pandemic has created an environment of heightened exposure of cyber threat actors who seek to exploit vulnerable information technology infrastructures and fallible human behaviors. When the COVID-19 started in the year 2019, they actually, most of the phishing campaign have been linked back to groups operating from Pakistan, Russia, China, North Korea, and other nations. So basically, what they are trying to do, what they are trying to achieve. So the malicious file employed in these schemes to install malware, ransomware, or remote administration tool where they can take a control of the system by using various threat actors, which is mentioned here. So one of them are, we can always it is we you may all aware of it, the malicious apps, phishing campaigns, services related to Zoom and MS Teams. So actually, due to time limit, I am taking one example of this Mummy Spider. This is actually one of the earliest e-crime actors to capitalize on the COVID-19 outbreak. Okay, it was late. It was identified in the 2020 January. It was actually the group behind is Emotet. So they are the one who has created this threat actors, who was trying to launch this threat actor to attack the most of us. So many organization has been impacted with most of the threat actors. So one of them, in the earlier is they were started with Mummy Spider. Okay, so this is the themed phishing attack. What they are trying to do when they are creating something. So when they send, we always feel that what is this email about? Either it is where am I received from my friend, or from organization, or somebody's from the vendor. So most of the themed phishing attack, what we have seen, One is outbreak maps, vaccine news, business email communication, email phishing, wishing and smishing. It could be a stock market news. Again, they will, they talk about scarcity and send out the email specific to WHO information, CDC information, and they will also mention its offer and discount, especially about the mask, sanitizer, toiletries, and this email also notify you as an urgency. So this I wanted to touch upon one thing here in detail. The first threat involved in malware attacks using social engineering with COVID-19. In January, the checkpoint found that Emotet, it's a banking Trojan, where the coronavirus themed email has been targeted in Japan, where the user has been sent, the attacker, the criminal has been sent the email with the attachment, the file attachment, the malicious file attachment. Around the same time, thousands of coronavirus-related domains names were created. It was Some of them are legitimate, but some of them are for criminal purposes. Let's talk about see some of the samples here. So if you could see here, it's the attacker created an email such a way the email came from WHO and CDC, and if also see in April this year, the the Health Organization reported a dramatic increase in the number of cyber attacks directed as their staff. It is actually they've felt that it is coming from their staff, but it is actually someone behind the cyber criminals who is behind who has sent out this email. And for 450 active WHO emails were identified, and it was reported thousands belonging to others working on the novel coronavirus responses. Again, one of the major app from Harvard University, it says that it is the result of the student, but it has behind the email, it is attached, the criminal has been attached with blacknet rat malware, which again is kind of an advertisement. It is they have crafted a botnet, they have sent out the email. In another campaign, a fake government website which is looks similar to the government.uk, where it will ask the personal information and it will ask you to give the bank account credentials. And in the several other campaigns used in social media messages such as Facebook. If you could see here from the Netflix, we will offer 2 months free of service from the Netflix. We can't believe, no. So what they will do, they will click, they will trap into attack. So this is some of the snippet I have given as a sample. Let's walk through what is the impact happened during this COVID-19. So mostly impact of COVID-19 cybersecurity, a study says it is actually posed many risks. Either it could be from personal, from the organization level. Again, from a global computer security software company has observed malicious detection in almost all the countries impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. So some of them I have given here, which is from McAfee. So the figure 1, it's talk about 561 publicly disclosed security incidents in the second quarter of 2020, including those in which the region targets was non-applicable, and 22% of the quarter 1, and disclosed incidents targeting North America accounted 29%. Again, a decrease had happened 30% from the previous quarter. If you see the figure number 2, approximately 7.5 million external attacks on cloud accounts. Imagine, we always adopt cloud service as a service. Most of them, it's a hot topic nowadays is going on. And if you see the figure 3, most of the disclosed incidents targeting United States. And from the figure 4, the 91 percentage, it says science and technology. It was targeted, and it's keep on going. There are many a snippet like this, but I didn't bring everything. So if at all you would have gone through the, if you could Google it, you will find the threat report of McAfee. Then it has more information about what are the impacts happened during this COVID-19. So let's talk about the what are the COVID-19 based malware samples. So these are, when the attacker create such a email, they also see how the user are, how we can entice them, and how they can we can trap them to some kind of attack. So what they create in a such a that the email or the malware also, it shows like Thanos ransomware, and the file name it's like a credito covid-19.exe. It could be this email might have this file name might have received as an attachment. It could be a rar file or Word document, or it similar to Excel file as well. So this addition to this, I have seen some of them are to note it down here. So they send a malicious HTML files as well. When they attach a HTML file, it display as a message telling that user to log in, and they can review, and then they have to authorize the policy. It's similar to reimbursement policy. Again, also the target their the intention or the subject, it mentioned as an that their target is the human resource department. So in such a way, they have developed malware where they given the subject as an reimbursement policy, or the COVID-19 relief plan. So what, as a user, as soon as they receive, I have seen, I have been doing many of the incidents. Even I have connected to many of CSO groups where we were discussing about all of this kind of malware based samples. So most of them are basically from some of the main intention is how the, like earlier I have mentioned, the situational factors they will see, and they try to send you how they can get a user, or how they can victimize someone. So again, move on to next. What are the Mitre enterprise attack techniques observed in the COVID-19? So most of them are, it was initial access they start with, and then they will execute, and then they will use some of the persistence level kind of actors, and then they will try to escalate their privilege. So most of them are, it's ongoing. Like they do each, and like if you see in the picture, there are many ways they can escalate their privilege, or they try to make use of the pandemic situation, and they will say that you know this is a, we are seeking your help, or we need you to pay this much, or if you could be uh, enough of giving this relief fund, and if you can open this policy, review it, and send us this information. So this is actually kind of a techniques. Also they themed how they can compromise most of the victims. So again, some of the major one of the again large software vendor who also says that COVID-19 related threats in quarter 3, it is a million. Okay, it's they have total email threats 308 3,818 million 307. The email threats has been related to COVID-19, and again 46.9 percentage decrease in email quarter 2 and quarter 3. So slowly they are you know going down. At the same time, they have changed all the tactics. you know when they say the situational awareness, they will talk about as a related to URL. It could be, or it could be business email communication. Either it could be it comes from the CEO, or it could be coming from the CFO, and then they will try to attack. So if you could see the country wise, Australia, United States, they are all in top, and United Arab Emirates is 2.1, and India is 0.3. And if you see the hierarchy from June, July, August, September is huge. It's a peak, more than 800,000. Kind of an instance that malicious URL has been created and they were accessed by the victim. And when we talk about all this, we where we are how when we work from home, most of us having the communication virtually. So what are impact for when we do virtual communication? First thing, we by default we use what the vendor has been set for that application itself, and again we share the data with the social media. Again, it's a kind of a leaking personal information. We have lack of end-to-end encryption. So some of the attack happened, then later stage they kind of Zoom or MS Team and all, they have enhanced their security, but initial stage they were also affected by many attacks due to this various reason. And exploiting security bugs and inadequate security settings, lack of complex passwords, or they will use the default passwords. It can be guessable as well. Okay, and then non-existent policy on recordings. There is inadequate policy enforcement. So these are few of them I have mentioned here, but you can multiply with this. There are many things we can add. So when it comes to operational security impacts, so first thing, we are not prepared earlier, but now we have to prepare ourselves, even as an individual or as an organization. So what we have to do, preparation of on-demand policies and remote access controls. It sometimes the short-term POC it happened, and then again unsupported license procured. Preparation of awareness material, again it's a matter of resource crunch. As I mentioned in the earlier slide, it's a cutoff, staff crunches everywhere nowadays, and difficulties in enforcing policy because everybody is working on remote, and challenges state of getting the policy approved because you keep following up with your team. When we as an individual go and talk to managers or the board itself, it takes some time. But how if you are in very far away and trying to achieve something, it's nowhere, it's not at all possible. That is the reason challenge instead of getting the policies approved and risk accepted. Delay in initiating the security incident handling process or analysis. It is I have seen many of these things. So even most of the organization now taking into consideration of BCP and crisis management, and how we can manage the risk when we are at a distance. So I mean to say work from home reality. First thing is risk is everywhere. Okay, we can't say that there is no risk. I can live with that. But security risk from remote workforce is inadequate bandwidth, most of us might have experienced. Then from internet service provider issues, again, with the help desk might have overloaded. What are the challenges? It is less visibility and manual process. Again, response and remediation, it takes place very minimum compared to earlier when we are working from premise on premise. So instability, one of them is BCP viability, it's not there, and human factors, insider activity, work and life distraction. These are all, you know, some key managing uh, risk at a distance. Most of us going through, and how we can, protect our, how we can secure and resilience while working from home. First thing, when you access from a remote, so you look for your Wi-Fi router, firmware has been updated, or you have to change the admin password, and the endpoint what you're using is up to date. Are you rebooted? And I'll keep monitoring. My firewall is enabled or with a up to date antivirus signature. And again, awareness. You have to keep giving as an individual. Maybe organization send out. As an information security team, we are, most of the time send out the awareness regarding this, password policies, how you have to use, and how you don't, reuse the password. Uh, how you should be very cautious about, the other platform when you are using some of the, when you're at home, nobody can monitor you. So they have some of the application also nowadays, they are working where they can integrate with VPN for monitoring, and what how they can be able to monitor as an employer who is working from home. And again, lock screen before stepping away. You have the lock screen policy they can give, and you can do the secure removal media. So these are some awareness you keep, uh, give it to the employer as an individual. Also, you can learn from the internet. So basically, when we talk about all of this, so how we can identify and prevent, such a COVID-19 themed attacks. So one of us, most of us, it comes from online. So that's why I have given as a online surfing. So first thing, you have to check the URLs of the websites, what you're access to. Is it coming from the right source? And look for HTTPS, and it is yellow color lock is enable. You can able to see, and again, be cautious when you see that it's could be a true, but it may not be that true. Again, be vigilant while downloading files from the internet. Ensure it will always download and install the latest updates. Use antivirus, anti-malware protection. Backup your data on regular basis. So this is one of the I like very much this one, how we can manage and respond to cybersecurity incidents. So you may all agree to this, the hierarchy how we have put here. So first thing is you have to be we have to be ready, and prepare. We should have a plan, and how we can respond, and how we can recover. So when we plan something, so as in from a cybersecurity perspective, most of the time we do business impact analysis, strategy, how the plan for the whatever development you do. It could be application code level, or the you know the anything. It could be implementing anything you are going to implement, and what kind of training you are going to give, and keep doing, and keep practicing them, and keep audit, review them. And again, when it comes to response, you have to have a incident response, and again, crisis management you have to have. And when it comes to recovery, so this is actually we are the topic itself, it's COVID-19 impact on cybersecurity. So the resumption and incremental recovery always, you have to see in this model way. So most of the time, the crisis management, most of the organization also not having it, but having this crisis management, it is good to have when it comes to response, because as I mentioned, it's a uncertain situation. We never know either what is happening as an insider uh, threat perspective, and from the outside external factors perspective. And this is my conclusion. So how we could be ready? You always evaluate the security of devices and critical infrastructures, and you keep you know uh, redefine the security policies and standards, uh, cope up with the pandemic. It could be anything. It's again vary organization to organization, and do proper supply chain checks, because supply chain attacks are pretty much there nowadays, and you can see in last week and keep going. The about from FireEye and SolarWinds, we are hearing many things. And keep review the incidents, crisis management, review controls and revoke where not needed. So when we say review controls and revoke where not needed, so ensure that from the account perspective or privilege uh, perspective, how what are the access being provided to so and so person working from home, and how you are monitoring it, and how the it's been monitored by the SOC team, or how it was, how you are responding to the back to by how you are reporting to the board at this situation. Again, data privacy and security exposure assessment, you keep continue doing it, so that we all protected. And situation, you don't feel that we are in this situation, because the situation is made as such a way that everybody is impacted in somehow other, in different uh, aspects. And this is my conclusion. If at all any question, if you all have, I'm happy to address it.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Divaga.
Yes, sir. Uh, no problem, no, sir. All good. I was in the back.
Yeah.
I just saw your session got over, so I just came to the live session.
Okay.
So are we done with the session, sir?
Yes, I think I'm a little earlier than
Okay,
but
okay, sir.
yeah.
There were
If at all
some
any
questions.
question we
If you
can take.
wanna, yeah, there is one question: how to detect malicious insider activity? So, if you'd like to answer to the audience.
Yeah. So basically, you can see there would be you might have enabled various solution. Either it could be from endpoint level, or it could be from the uh, the uh, core firewall level. You can detect, or if at all, if it is integrated with the SIM solution, they have enabled such a use cases. If somebody is trying to attack something or access to some of the things, even if somebody is trying to do something internally, what is supposed to happen, and obviously they can able to identify. It is actually user behavior analysis. You can always enable uh, in the SIM solution itself, or from the application level of the whatever organization you work for. So they can enable these things to detect malicious.
I guess that was the only question, sir.
Okay.
Let me see if anything else is there. Uh, Audience, do you have like any more questions? You can like put it out in the Q&A section. Okay, sir. I guess They got, yes sir. I think they got your session loud and clear. Here they it reached out to them. That's why it seems like no that much of questions. So, anyways, Karman sir, thank you so much for giving out your time to come to the summit and give the informative talk to all the audience out here. So a very large thank you from Red Team Hacker Academy, sir.
Same here. It's my pleasure.
Okay, sir. So if
Thank
in
you.
case if you would want to give some last words to the audience, you can tell it to them, sir.
It is actually we always to remember this COVID-19 has expected to be temporary, but the time has been changed, and we felt that it might be for a week, or and then again it leads to months. Now we are end of the year, closing the year. There are many things happen. So we have to be very cautious what how we are and what we are access to, and every time we have to be uh, and so we have to make sure that we can tackle the situation, or we can control this such kind of situation. One of how it comes is that by practicing it, and that's how we can learn. So that is my last note to the
So I
audience.
hope that was a good takeaway to audience. So once again, sir, thank you so much for your session, and we would like to keep having you in the future sessions as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
So guys, we have a upcoming session. So let me just give you an update on that. Overpowering the cyber security, cyber world. So you can join over to that session, guys. So it will be starting sharp at 6:30. Thank you, guys.